Okay, we have a ball game, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Radiant team ban. Radiance ban. Radiance pick. Dire's pick. Ten seconds to go. 5 seconds. Reserve time. Dire's pick. Radiance pick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Dota 2 Asia Championships European Qualifier Day number 2. We get underway now with VP.Polar versus Empire, best of 3. Showdown between, to me, 2 of the strongest teams in this qualifier. And with that said, I'm not alone. I'm LDB on the summit. I'm joined here by the one and only Coddle Guy. Hey, Dakota, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, LD. I'm ready to get things under piped and ready. Got my coffee, feeling pretty good. Coming to this matchup, I have to agree with. Got to be top 2, I would say, at least in my opinion, in this qualifier. Empire, slight odds favorite, coming into the 60% to VP.Polar's 37%, which people might find a bit interesting.
Reserve time.
Polar came out with a nice second place finish.
Dire team ban.
Right, but Empire, LD, I mean, I'll let you do the honors. These guys have been on air lately.
Yes, Empire have been quite dominant as of late. First in the ES Portal qualifier, they did come third at D2CL, but just looking at all the recent, which was their last LAN showing, but just looking at all their recent online matches, they have been tearing it up in Star Ladder, looking really good there, and they did make some roster changes after D2CL. So they parted ways with Solo and Mag, they added Aloha, Dan Suyoki, and ever since then, they just seem like revitalized. So I don't know if it's the fresh blood, if they're just feeling a little bit more confident, but they are the strongest they've been in a while. And I would add that I actually think Hellraisers might even be better than both of them, but those 3 to me are the 3 teams to look out for sure in this qualifier. And well, with that said, there's always Power Rangers. They already have guaranteed themselves a trip to China. They'll be one of the wildcard teams, at least possibly the qualified team from Europe. But with that said, Dakota Draft, it's well underway. In terms of what we're seeing here, this is nothing too unusual for Empire. They go for the Wisp. They've ran it 3 times recently in their past like 7 or so games. They'll combine it with the Tiny, generally something Resolution will play. Normally Silent is their 1-position player, but they have been flexible depending on heroes. So for example, he has played a Jakiro in the past, but he's even played the Puck, and the game where he played the Puck was when Resolution was on the Tiny.
And, you know, it is interesting. Empire throw out maybe a strat right at the start of this one. They're showing already to VP.Polar that they got the Tony Wisp happening for him. And
10 seconds
seeing this,
to go.
I felt like they could have maybe
5 seconds.
Support something like an Enigma, maybe jungle. You don't have to worry too.
Reserve time.
Causing you too much trouble. Plus, it's coming your way. Then hole where they're coming from, and you got a nice little setup right there. Given that, you know, VP.Pro are going to have to work the best, vengeful, dazzle, they have to. It's so funny to see how trendy the game. Other regions, slightly other games, Doug. first ban, first pick. Here, completely ignored. North American scene, Omni Knight. Not seeing it here whatsoever. It's so funny how trendy the game.
It really is, and then the regions get exposed to each other, and all of a sudden everything changes. You know, for a long time, the Chinese scene, they were saying back in the TI3 era, leading up to it, Wisp is not a good hero, the laning is too weak, it can be shut down, and then Malvine Alliance finally proved that Wisp was completely legit, pretty much no matter what, and since then they adapted, and it's just kind of, it's the beauty of just how the scene's evolved. Empire go back for a Tidehunter now, and that'll be Yoki's hero for the off lane. So they've got their Tiny Wisp, they have their Tide, a good mix of team fight, carry potential here, and they'll be looking to round things out with that second support. The Wisp normally in Aloha Dance's hand, so looking at always want to fly heroes. He's played pretty much everything under the sun. Witch Doctor, Ancient Apparition, Ogre. It's kind of a plug-and-play support. They even have run Skywrath in the latest patch, which is not particularly popular lately.
I know they haven't ran it too much, but I think an Ogre could fit. They need for secondary support who is willing to roam around, someone to bodyguard those roots a bit, and of course...
Reserve time.
Oh, Bloodlust would help with Tiny, certainly.
Oh yeah, that's really good with Tiny.
But that would be a bit too much manliness. Fat boys here, melee, so maybe be too much... Someone who has a bit... So...
Well, then maybe Juggernaut could fit the bill.
Yeah, why not, right? I wouldn't even mind seeing 4. I agree. Yeah, they ran AA.
It's something that VP.Polar actually ran for Demon as well at D2L. So, yeah, could see the 4-position Jug. I don't think it's particularly likely this game because that gives them basically 4 melee heroes since the Wisp is always in the middle of the fight, and that could be a bit tough. As for VP.Polar, there's a Drow Ranger out there. Visage was banned first phase, so just seeing 3 ranged heroes, some minus armor from Venge, Puck. It's a slight possibility. Lycan was banned first phase. That's the other hero that we often see combined with the Puck, but it's a pocket pick that VP.Polar could go for. And the idea being with the Drow, you just want to end the game early. So you get the early start, you take Roche, you try to win by like the 20 to 30 minute mark before Tiny really gets online fully. But we'll see if that's something they're interested in.
Yeah, something that can push the tempo. Even if you're not able to finish the game in time, Tiny can
10 seconds
come back.
to go.
How many times have I seen a Tiny able to take backdoor kind of a play, and next thing you know, the game's evened up when you thought that they were going to be out of the mix entirely. So now it's going to be the Spirit grab. So very elusive lineup as it is. Puck, this is going to be a hard team to get.
Yeah, they get the Ember. Most likely still holding back on Illidan's hero, though. I did mention he has played Puck once in their recent games, so... oh, no, sorry. They like the Bristleback as well, and it's a good hero to synergize with Dazzle and Venge. Just getting very tanky from the Dazzle ult. You throw the Grave on the Bristle if he ever gets low. You've got the heals coming out, the minus armor, synergizing well for taking out Roshan early. So that could be an option for VP.Polar, or they could go for one of those more harder carries. So we'll wait and see, assuming it should be the Illidan hero coming out last. As for Empire, where do you think they go? Oh, well, there you go.
I think they go with Skywrath Mage, LD. I think that would just be a phenomenal pick.
Such a smart caster.
Goodness gracious. Yeah. So, we don't need any more Fat Boy melee. Someone who can kind of linger on the outside, but still be able to contribute heavily in case someone does pot out, maybe with a Ravage, maybe with any lockdown that Tiny can provide.
10 seconds to go.
Skywrath certainly can offer that. He does have to be a little bit careful here if he does get caught out by Ember, Puck, or anyone. In a bit of trouble. He kind of doesn't deal well when people get in his face, especially if they have a silencer and pain him down. I like that pick right there, but they kind of do need something to balance this all out. Someone else. The late game, so where they're going to take it. Funny to note, if it was the other way around, Virtus Pro have played CK. They're actually 2-0 with CK. Shame that they don't have the Wisp, but I do love to see. I haven't really seen Day, but
5
I wouldn't mind even seeing it.
seconds.
Yeah, I don't. We have seen the support Tiny once in a while, but this is not that game, I don't think. And Ember Spirit, one of the better carries at dealing with CK illusions, just from all the AOE he tends to farm up. But now the 5th ban will come out for Empire. They remove a Razor. And
Dyer's ban.
basically removing more of a early to mid game type fighting carry, something that can get active around the same time the Ember and Puck look to. When the Ember is level like 7 to 9, has his phase, maybe the makings of the drums, the Puck gets the blink. They don't want VP.Polar to overwhelm them, but there are still other heroes that could be effective in a similar role. Good example would be a Viper, can kite Tiny very effectively. There's also Weaver, who
10
I don't know if we'd
seconds
see
to
him this
go.
game, but does quite well historically against Wisp. Well, it is a bit vulnerable to Scarth, but they'll go for the Bristleback I mentioned earlier that we've seen Illidan on 2 or 3 times in his past, like, 9 games. To be honest, this guy's played, like, I think 8 heroes in his last 11 games, something ridiculous like that, so he's been all over the place. But I like Bristle here. I think it hits that timing window that they should be searching for against Empire.
Got a little bit of that kiting factor that Viper has, especially. Mind that certainly adds more minus armor to their lineup as it is. This team is ridiculous with their armor and minus armor.
Ooh.
Dyer's ban.
Axe coming in as grab here for Empire. This is a spicy lineup of men.
Yeah, you wanted less manliness, but all we get is more.
Yeah, I know, right?
The Bruisers. They
Golds
are running 4 heroes that are likely to clump up a lot. Ember and a Bristleback, heroes that generally excel in those situations. So it'll be very interesting to see how the fights end up breaking out. But
I'd get
with
ready
that said,
if I were
Dakota,
you.
I'm going to go ahead and fix my hero icons. There we go. Now there's not so gigantic. We got some blind people in the house, I got to tell you. But we're going to do the introductions now. As Mag will make his way all the way bottom, even TP down here, and he will be playing your off-lane Puck. I look at this VP.Polar lineup, and in some ways they're a bunch of castaways, really, Dakota. They have Mag, who is cast aside from Empire, Illidan removed from the old VP, FNG booted from Na'Vi. 3 of them with a chip on their shoulder, but he's the first. He's going bottom as the Puck. Illidan will be going mid, looking revitalized on the Bristleback. Lil, your support Dazzle, back in action after the brief Demon stand, and DK Phobos will be the Ember Spirit player heading to the safe lane, and that leaves FNG, the Vengeful Spirit, and the Shot Caller for this team. This is by far his most played
It's
hero
almost
as of
time
late,
for everybody
and he will
to
be headed
die.
to the safe lane.
Radiant side, we got Team Empire. Believe it or not, I had to triple check this on Dota, but this team is on an 18-game win streak ever since ES Portal. These guys have not taken a loss, so we'll see if they can keep that huge win streak happening here. It's going to be Yoki here playing your off-lane Tidehunter in your mid lane. It's going to be Resolution playing your Tiny. That's a weird-looking cosmetic set, but he's going to roll with it as it is. Bottom, Silent, he's going to be playing your Axe, Always Want to Fly.
hope you
He's going to
like
be flying around on
bloodbaths.
your Skywrath Mage, and of course that will leave Mr. Aloha Dance playing your Wisp, and he actually gets a nice little bounty bonus right there. 100 XP and 100 gold is nothing to scoff at.
VP.Polar already warding off the Ancients here, and are up against the Tidehunter. Axe, who can farm stacks, though not at this stage of the game, so I think a well-advised ward, and something that Empire doesn't currently see. They won't necessarily need those stacks right away, but they'll look to get them relatively soon. The bottle's already out for Aloha Dance thanks to the bounty rune, so he's happy about that. And let's see, did they break down the trees? They did, so we're just going to see our kind of standard Tiny Wisp mid. Wisp will try to get the runes, Tiny will sit mid and CS, the Wisp will constantly be stacking, and well, mid lane, they do go in on Illidan here. A lot of damage done, and he's actually going to man up on this Wisp once
He's
the
gonna hit
first
him.
blood.
Oh my god, one more Quills would do it. Not going to be able to get it. He gets that quick bottle, and now he's the one getting hunted out. He's gonna
There's an avalanche.
Oh, the cross-country avalanche. Are we going to get it right here?
Radiant's
He
middle
should do
tower
it.
is under siege.
There, he's got it. He's going to cut him off on the front, try to block him a bit, and that's going to be your first blood. Illidan goes down on his mid lane. Bristleback. Empire. They
Radiant's
strike
middle
first.
tower is being attacked.
Well, normally they wait to strike back, but
Dyer's
yeah,
middle
hey,
tower
why
is
wait
under
to strike
attack.
back when you can just punch him in the mouth right up front, man? That's the way to do it. That was close. That was close, and I think if the Wisp didn't already have the bottle from the bounty rune, that might have ended up just being a first blood there, but had it super, super early, and Illidan ends up paying for it.
Calculated Aloha Dance bait by Versalvan. So they make it work. Bristle has to buy his express ticket back to the lane, so that cripples him pretty significantly here, and looks like Empire are going to be able to capitalize on that. But yeah, in your off-lane position, it's, you know, Tidehunter who's going to be getting the bad end of this tri-lane, but he's actually working in pretty close, so he's not afraid to really overextend what could potentially be, you know, scary for his leash. And since they did block out that Ancient camp, he's not going to really have anything else to fall back on if the farm doesn't go well for him here. So we'll see if Virtus Pro want to make sure they really nip Yoki in the butt.
Nipping in the butt. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. So off-lane puck getting zoned out pretty heavily right now. It looks like the Tidehunter is actually going to end up getting more. And this is one of the issues I've seen with the pucks lately. It's mostly been against Lions, but there's been a lot of support lines in the safe lane in America, and pucks have just been getting destroyed by that particular hero. Skywrath, very similar, extremely strong early harass. The Lion, not quite as much, but you go for that boots first build, you have the better base damage in this patch, and oftentimes the pucks just can't get in the lane. And if the carry ever shows up, then you're in a lot of trouble. So this looks to be a tough lane here for Mag early on, I would say.
And a great lane for Silent. Your Axe gets to kind of sit in the lane and CS it up. Hopefully not over pushing the lane with his helixes, but for now he's just going to find some respectable CS, looking to push on forward. We saw this, yesterday. Na'Vi tried to roll with Havost Axe in a tri-lane kind of a setup. They were forced to make an audible call and switch the lanes of route, and unfortunately Havost's Axe really never came into the limelight. So Silent looking to kind of make a name for himself as far as axes go here, and should be a pretty good time. Now, as far as what axe is really going to contribute to this game later on, I feel like he's going to really have his crosshairs on Ember Spirit of all people, and Puck, just being able to lock them into place and allow someone like Tiny to really dish out huge combo damage.
Yeah, there's the dunk to deal with Shallow Grave, which is always nice. Something we didn't really talk about much because Axe is just not really a high priority pick, but he's seen a lot of situational play. I think the most common scenario is when there's a Lycan and teams just want to go aggressive and shut him down in the safe lane very early. But yeah, I like it gives you reliable lockdown through BKB, and I think just having the counter to Grave is a pretty potent ally at your side. So.
Good against Brood as well. Brood's also been kind of a big pick, and I think that was even why Na'Vi picked it up. They were going against the PR Brood in the offlane, and Brood seemed to be just too much of a handful for him. And another one of those heroes that's very trendy across a bunch of other teams, especially on like the eastern side, like VG Gaming and stuff, but we really didn't even see it picked nor banned in this game. So it's just funny. I guess it feels like, and I think you and Andrew even talked about yesterday, I really like where Dota is now. Like the teams have already done a couple of roster shuffles. We got a lot of new fresh faces, fresh teams coming out in a fresh patch with new heroes making a reemergence, someone like Jug and Omni Knight, and I think we're in a good place here. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's just a vital time. It's the International 5 schedule has been somewhat tentatively unveiled by Valve, not all the details, but enough to get the teams pretty stoked. You've had Bruno tweeting about how important he thinks DAC is going to be for TI invites, and everyone knows Bruno is Ice Frog. So, yeah, it just feels like everyone's kind of building up steam. There's always that slow period around the holidays where players are taking time off, they're not practicing as much. The teams were getting ready for the Great Roster Shuffle, the Summit 2, I think, marking kind of the end of the post-TI4 era and the beginning of the pre-TI5 era. Just because it was the last big event of 2014, and D2L kind of your appetizer warm-up moving towards the bigger events later this year. You've got that huge MLG circuit with, I think it's over $500,000 in prizes, which is just a ridiculous amount of money. That's just base prize pool. The ESL tournament's coming up later this year. Dream League, I'm sure, will be doing something, though they haven't really announced too many details yet, and that's not even counting the Asian tournaments. This one, man, a mini international, $1.5 million and rising. Cyborg Matt's ambitious. He put in a $3.5 million bar to kind of match. I don't know if that's going to happen, but already it's bigger than most of the other events combined.
I said $4 million yesterday with Gots. He thought it was crazy, but
it's all about the items, dude. They have another chest. That's like a guaranteed extra $1 million right there.
Yeah, it really is. It's weird to say something like that, but hey, there's people out there who freaking love their hats. So if it works out better for the players and everyone else to kind of put a little bit more change in their pocket, then I guess so be it. So we'll see how high it goes there. Plus, you didn't even count the Dota Pit. I'm sure is going to have another season. It was pretty successful in season 2, and well, one of my favorite tournaments, WAC, could always make a return. They were the biggest tournament until DAC outside of TI, but DAC just easily overshadowed them.
Yes, I think it's overshadowed everything at this point. It'd be nice if every tournament could have those kinds of items, but it requires that extra special love from Valve to make it happen, which is kind of cool. It makes the tournament stand out a lot, and well, still waiting to get our full roster of teams ready, guys. If you haven't heard, this is the European qualifier. We'll take a quick look at the brackets here while we're kind of shooting the shit. And
I like
just
how
talk
no
about
one
where
said
we are
anything.
so
It was
far.
just puck disappeared, and everyone's like, okay, that's it.
Yeah, the game's over. We're just
we'll
going to go to
wait
a
for him.
break now.
We'll just wait. Finally, someone's like, something, hello? So it's apparently just a little bit of an internet issue. As you said you were looking at the bracket. I know that you already talked about PR.
So yeah,
making it
winner
through.
of this is going to play Hellraisers, and the winner of that match is actually guaranteed to move forward. So forgot to add them here, but Power Rangers, they are already into the winner bracket finals, having taken on Alliance yesterday, and they're guaranteed now because even if they lose all the remaining games, they'll still be top 3. Second and third both go to China as wild cards. Similar to TI, you've got that chance to play in, and even if you don't end up winning the play-in matches, you still get some money. So fantastic position for them to be in, and a lot at stake. It's just 2 best-of-3s and you're in, Dakota, or in the case of Hellraisers, only 1.
As if there wasn't pressure enough. You could already tell the nerves are there for these players with how much money's on the line. Then you got someone like Bruno saying, hey, by the way, this tournament might be kind of a big deal if you wanted to be a part of TI5, which is even a bigger prize pool. So as if they didn't already have enough pressure built up on them, that is just a little bit extra, frosting on the cake, on the nerves cake, I guess.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, man. I was trying to get my hype going. Where's our puck at?
I don't know, beyond the schedule, I guess. You can always just...
Yes. Well, it wouldn't be a BTS cast if someone didn't immediately disconnect in game 1. We're about to get underway.
I think the same thing happened yesterday with me and Parker. We were like in a game, and there was a bit of a long pause at the start. Luckily, after that, things to go smoothly. I'll hope that that's the same case here, but... Yeah, we're waiting along with everyone else. Hopefully everything's going to be okay. I know they'd been waiting already at the start for a stand-in for Phobos, but now it's unfortunately Mag, the Renegade, who's been playing on so many teams as it is, just needs a bit more time.
Do we want to do bets? Do we want to start firing some shots here? Throwing some people under the bus?
I mean, we could do that.
It's too late for first blood.
Our last straw for like the laying out time is going into cosmetics, so I'm happy to go into bets first and foremost. But I mean, I already said I'm into Empire and just how their heart streak has been. I would assume they're going to be feeling it here. They do get the first blood already, and I really have liked their more like berserk blitzy play style that they've had as of recent. And for Virtus.Pro, it might be kind of a style that could take them a bit out of their comfort zones. That's just my opinion. We'll see. What about you, man? What about you?
I really want to believe in VP.Polar, but I actually think I have to go with you. I think Empire just are a little bit more solid right now. VP.Polar had they seem very, with Illidan especially. He's been consistent lately, but I've cast Illidan long enough to know that he's gonna have those Illidan games where he just full YOLOs, overextends. And I think you just need to be a little bit more consistent to put your rares on that team or Arcanas over Empire.
If you want to go by team history on how these two franchises, I guess you could say, in their long road of what they've met, 28 matches they've had going against each other. Empire was to come out on top, 19 wins over Virtus.Pro Polar's 9, which is actually a bit surprising to me, so they definitely have the longer streak. The last time they did play was in Star Ladder 11. And Empire did win. And in that game, Resolution playing Invoker ended up going 11-1. And even funnier,
boy, it's just like another CIS.
I wonder what
showdown.
two teams have the longest play history. Is it? I mean, Navi Alliance is like the first.
Have to look at the Chinese organizations at this point. DK, LGD. Well, DK not now. I guess LGD, IG, probably 2 of the very longest. A lot of the old SEA teams, like King Surf and stuff, are long defunct. So I think it's probably Chinese teams at this point. MYM's gone, sadly.
I'd be curious for someone to look up and find out who has the longest play history together. If that's something that's still happening, if it's a team that's still together and we could still enjoy seeing it. But this is weird. The game's moving, LD. I'm a bit unfamiliar with this.
I guess they're 4v5ing.
Oh, he's not. I thought he was back because I saw a reconnect. He definitely did reconnect at one point. I guess, yeah, he disconnected again. He's heading back to base, and they're not pausing. So Puck is en route to go back and heal.
Well, This is not how we hoped for the game to begin, but they're going to make the best of it, VP.Polar.
Oh, boy.
Or maybe not.
Or they just noticed he had to go back down. I mean, fortunately, he was already hurt, and I guess he could use the trip back to heal up, and he didn't have a TP or any sort of regen, but yeah, not exactly what you want to be happening here. And I'm sure Virtus Pro Polar fans are not going to be too happy either, but
no,
here we go. We're
I
going to
think
be back into this one. They're going to have to go without him, it looks like. That's very unfortunate. Hopefully, Mag can get things
they have a
resolved
heal
sooner
bomb
than
here
later.
mid. If this Wisp posts up a little too much, they might go on Aloha Dance, and it just gets destroyed by Lil. Brings out the Weave of
Resolution.
Doom.
Resolution does get a two-man stun, and we'll be able to walk away.
Radiant's
But
middle
that Wisp,
tower is under
he got
attack.
blown the hell up. Unusual
case you
rotation.
weren't
You don't
paying
see
attention.
Dazzle too often to get in on the ganking action, but he makes it work definitely with that little bit of
Dyer's
visibility.
It's funny
Tower
because
is
his
being
ganks are
attacked.
so ass if you're not near creeps, right? Like, he does nothing if there's not a heal bomb, but if you have either, like, a Naga with illusions or, you know, a creep wave nearby, then the damage output is immense, and, well, it certainly helps that this Wisp has 0 base armor. All that physical damage really adding up.
So they're actually going to be controlling Mag, it looks like, even though he is gone. They have him currently in the jungle, maybe like the stacking guy or something, so they'll make the best of it, at least for now, as he eats a couple extra trees, and they'll have it pull back. But we'll see Empire. They're going to obviously look to pounce on this one. They even have Always Want to Fly, looking to get in on the mid lane action, hoping to get another sweet pick here on Illidan. The stun's going to come out, and the toss back. Uh-oh! Hello, Skywrath Mage right there to cut him off in the pass, and it looks like Illidan will go down once more.
FNG rolling through, but just not in position to do anything about it. It is a 4-hero rotation now, as good old Yoki has also joined the fray. A pretty expensive one, but when you're playing 4v5, you're killing off one of their 2 remaining cores that's actually not being microed by another player. It's going to make the game hard for VP.Polar. They'll move forward with Always Want to Fly. The Skywrath Wisp combo, we were seeing a lot of this a few months back. Just devastating offense, also incredibly squishy. They're going to run into FNG now, and this could be trouble. 4 heroes descending.
And Mag is also in on it, even though he's not here in spirit. I guess he's looking to get in the stun on Always Want to Fly. And I think your Skywrath Mage is going to go ahead and accept his fate. He drops. It's going to be picked up there from Dazzle. And, well, VP.Polar are able to even things up.
Dyer's
Tranquil
bottom
Boots out
tower
for
is
Silent
under
now.
attack.
So he's getting free farm in the safe lane up to 800 gold. Very fast blink incoming for the Axe.
Dyer's bottom
Assuming he wants
tower
it.
is
Could
under
go for
siege.
like a Crimson Guard or something, but generally we see an Axe get free farm. We expect that fast blink.
Absolutely.
Dyer's
He's
bottom
pretty much
tower
having the
is
time of
being
his
attacked.
life down here. And he's about to have that
And mid lane.
sweet calling blade.
Illidan getting dunked all over the place, but the quills stack up. He's still got bottle charges. I don't know if they want to
Dyer's
continue
bottom
chasing
tower
this
is
any
under
further.
attack.
They have to back out. They're having trouble
Mag is
bringing
back.
down this bristle. Uh-oh. The
Actually
dunk!
back. Oh! Your
Kaboom!
head! That was a nice little J from the free throw line to catch him on that one. Illidan down again.
Dyer's bottom
0 and 3
tower
on
is
your
under
mid lane.
siege.
Bristle back. And Yoki does drop at the same moment. Ember Spear packs kill himself. Phobos actually pretty low here. He's going to have to walk away.
Dyer's
But they do
bottom
take down the
tower is
offlane
under
Tidehunter.
attack.
I gotta tell you, man, this is not exactly the level of play we've been seeing out of Illidan coming into this match. He's been very disciplined, and the first kill, maybe just getting caught off guard by the Wisp having the super fast bottle from the bounty rune, but yeah, this death feels very avoidable by him.
Resolution hanging around even though he's low on life. Of course, the low on dance. The full bottle is going to come right in and say, "Don't worry, buddy, I got you." He's going to heal him on up. They'll be content on staying in the lane. They have a significant advantage now in this mid lane. Tiny's putting together a nice 22 and 6 CS, but King CS, no surprise. Going to Axe still. And, well, touching base with him, he's making work in the jungle for now. He's got about 1,400 gold. He's going to have good timing on the blink top lane area. They're going on Aloha Dance here, but he does have that tether. 2 more seconds, so he
Dyer's
should be able
middle
to jump to the
tower
low
is
ground and
being
cross the
attacked.
Cito, and there he goes. Whee! Out of harm's way, he'll be fine.
Meanwhile, top lane, not so lucky as Yoki, trapped out again by the chains
Yoki,
of
where's your
Phobos.
tether?
And now bottom lane, onto Lil they go. With the call, the follow-up double damage and right click. Silent gets the kill. That's gonna be an 8-minute blink, it looks like, if he wants it.
Holy moly.
Or an 8-9 minute Vanguard. Either way, that is trouble for VP.Polar.
I know Havos yesterday did go with the immediate Vanguard first and then built up towards the blink, but it felt like it took a little too long to get the blink. I don't think that's going to be the case this time since he's had, well, pretty much a dream start considering the fact that Mag wasn't here for the early part of the game. So we'll see where he takes it from here, but he's actually potentially could cross paths here with Illidan. He's marching right towards the mid lane area. Wonder what the game plan's going to be for him.
Just gonna scout out the Ancients here, and they go in on Illidan again. They're trying for the toss back, perhaps, but the heal comes, and Aloha Dance gets turned on. They'll toss the Bristleback back. Nice defensive maneuver. Silent now, in a bit too far. There's Avenge secondary stun coming through soon, but the supports rotate in. The supports, I say. It's the Tony, along with Aloha Dance, and fight's over, folks. Nothing to see here. Go home. By the way, Mag has reconnected, so I don't think he'll be happy with this situation. Level 3 at 7.5 minutes.
Well, look at him, watch him come back and pull out like an all-star kind of a game here. Now he does get to go square up here with Yoki, who had been having a bit of trouble himself. Obviously it's not as bad as Mag had it off not being in the game, but Yoki down 2 deaths. At least Mag didn't have to feed over any lives, so he'll try to make do with what he's got here in the bottom lane. That leaves no one whatsoever in the top lane, but mid. Looked like there could have been a bit of a tussle, but he's going to be fine. So no one attending to the top lane for now, but FNG feels a bit desperate here with Lil to maybe try to get some action. And with this haste rune, maybe they'll be able to get something going.
Is being attacked.
Yeah, and the comeback can definitely happen. Gorak on his puck off lane yesterday was getting wrecked, like way harder than Mag is. Mag's not really getting wrecked, he's just off to a slow start, and he had an amazing comeback that completely changed the tides for them. So don't count it out for the off lane puck. The main thing is just for him to be involved in a couple of kills. If your Ember gets around early, comes to his lane, sets up a gank, then you get a kill there. You complete your boots, bottle. He's already got the boots, and just get closer to that Blink Dagger. So it's just one nice little move that it's really all it takes to get him back in the game.
Phobos on Ember here, top lane. Look at just the space. It's like, this is my lane now. He's making it work.
I control 1/3 of the map. You guys can have the rest.
It's like, we don't want to go up there. Just let him do his thing. We got Axie who had gotten his own bit of farm, but that's a bit nervous about that. Letting Ember get all this potential to build on up could be a bit scary for him down the road.
They do have the Silent Blink now, not yet spotted by the Dire, I don't think, unless he walked near this Rune Ward. He's lurking in the trees. They might see him soon, though. Currently just off in the jungle.
When you get a Blink Dagger, though, it's just like a Bat Rider. You got a quota to meet. You want to make sure you get that surprise first kill with your Blink Dagger. Otherwise, you feel a little bit disheartened. So I'm sure Silent's going to try his best to stay in the dark, and maybe once someone shows up, preferably to this bottom lane, that's when he's going to go ahead and look to strike. But he could be waiting quite a while because it looks like Polar, knowing that top lane's been so easy breezy, they rotate the majority of their group up there, and, well, that's going to leave no one for bottom.
Silent makes his way towards mid. Still not spotted by Dire Vision. He does have that shiny blink online. There's no hill ward either, so he can actually sneak all the way around. He might go for it. They'll smoke.
Pretty low. Oh, he's going to drag them towards the bottom.
Uh-oh, Resolution. There is a defensive relocate. They may be forced to use this. That's a hasted Bristle God. Charging on in.
Dire's middle tower is under
I don't know if he wants to dive this far.
He didn't go goo at all.
Who needs goo when you've got a haster?
Oh, boom! He gets tossed up, and Wisp ends up going down with the quill there, and now Resolution could be in big trouble. Where was our Silent now? We need that X. Resolution, the one can be popped, but it doesn't matter. The quills have been stacking up, and oh, does not quite get the call right there, and now he's caught between two. Mag and Illidan, kiting him back and forth, but now, look at this, always want to fly, looking to get on the action. He gets snotted up right there. A silence in return, but that's going to be 2 men dropped. Illidan, who had a bit of a struggle in the early game, going 0-3, he picks up a couple of kills there, and how convenient. He also gets a sweet extra rule.
Classic Illidan. You know, 1 second he's overextending and dying in clowny ways. The next he's making gigantic plays. And with that double kill, really slowing down the Tiny Wisp. I think they'd already cleared out the stack, though, in good news. So Tiny completes his drums on the back of that. Your Wisp still with decent items. The Boots Bottle Magic Stick working towards the urn. They're still in pretty good shape. And Relocate will cool down about 30 seconds. So they'll have that to use offensively in conjunction with the Axe Blink Dagger, and if you're Empire, that's going to be your engine to control the map. Go around with the Blink, relocate on top of it, and just go for some clean pickoffs. Ember is a kill if you get all 3 of those heroes on top of him. Dazzle, an easy kill. Venge, pretty killable. Don't go for the Bristleback. He's got a Vitality booster now, but they definitely have some opportunities to set up kills with these 3 around the map.
Dire's top tower is being
both
attacked.
teams have been kind of working with maybe 4. Like Ember Spirit has been pretty, off on his own, building up the farm, and ever since the struggle in the offlane, Yoki has been finding a lot of farm for himself here. He's level 8, and he's got near 1,600 gold now, so he's been
Dyer's
catching up quite a
bottom
bit here
tower is being
as they
attacked.
push down this bottom lane. This
Dyer
could be a
has
tower grab
fortified
for
its
him. Lift's going to be
structures.
popped out, but looking to get the deny is going to be Mag here. Will he be able to snag it? The lane is going to be pushed back, but they really want this one, even as a Ravage, I guess, if he needs to pull it out.
Meanwhile, setting up shop top lane is your Axe. The TPs will come in bottom, though. DK Phobos on the move forward. Always want to fly, getting coiled and, well, dealt with. No real defensive maneuvers
Dyer's
possible
bottom
there.
tower
They
has
did have a
been
relocate, but tough to relocate on top of a tower like that.
I wonder if they're like, oh yeah, they have an Ember Spirit. He shows up and he just gets slaughtered. Rotisserie chicken, and Skywrath Mage really can't do anything. So well, finally, Phobos gets in on the action. He's got 1,500 gold. His Perseverance going to be complete. He's making great timing there. And Illidan, who got a couple of kills, grabs up, at least for now, the reliable Vitality booster. I imagine going to be turning that into your Vanguard.
Radiant's
so
middle
Bristleback
tower
looking
is
to
under
counter the
attack.
axe as far as the gains.
It's probably
We'll
nothing
see how
to
much you can
worry
take up.
about.
They'll continue defending this top lane. Creeps pushing in. They'll send the Axe back up there, and he picks up his own Vitality booster. So both teams just looking to tank up. A lot of beefy heroes in this one, which is where it may just turn into a lot of farming. Empire, a team that can abuse stacks quite well with the Tiny Wisp. A lot of difficult heroes to gank. Your Ember, who's going to want to continue farming. Looking elsewhere in terms of options for VP.Polar, they are a good Roche lineup. They have Goo, they have heroes that can tank the Roche, they have the Dazzle heal, and they have the minus armor of the Vengeful Spirit. So something they would like to go for, but if they're going to do that, they'll need to find a kill or two, or maybe catch Empire with their pants down, no Ravage online. Speaking of which, Yoki already has his blink at 13 minutes. With the Arcanes, he is way ahead of this puck.
Uh-oh. I'm here to relocate. It's going top in the enemy jungle. They're going to go for FFG, and they
Dyer's
blow him
middle
up.
tower is
Vengeful
being
Spirit,
attacked.
no chance here. Maybe considering getting someone on the way out, though. They're dancing with him. They're like, hey, you want to go, boy? They're making it go on Hardy. He has to pull out the early shallow grave, and he didn't quite need it, but it's good to play safe. Now, Illidan looking to catch out Silent, who was left behind. TP not going to happen. He gets chained down. Silent is going to drop. Illidan goes from 0-3 to 3-3, now on a killing spree.
He is on a killing spree, and it's good for them, but at the same time, Tiny not really being threatened at all. He's up to another 1,100 gold. Not going to be the fastest Aghanim Scepter ever, but with the point boost already coming, it's still a good timing for him. As Aloha Dance finds himself in a very awkward position here on the back lines, and will be run down by the Bristleback, it looks like. Resolution trying to cover the retreat. Tosses the Venge just straight up and down. Stun was cooling down. Doesn't get it off. Never mind. He's going to live. Aloha Dance surviving through it all, while at the same time DK Phobos will go down on the Ember. The Wisp now falls. It gets bloody here in game number 1. Your Ember dying top lane. The big unveiling of the Blink Dagger Tide comes out, and they combo it up with some
Dyer's
nukes from the
top
Skywrath,
tower
it
is
looks
under
like.
siege.
I really love the tempo of this game, I got to tell you. Yesterday, it felt like a lot of teams had a lot of nerves coming to this one. These teams, they're not afraid to hold
Dyer's
back, go
top
for the
tower is
relocates.
under attack.
I mean, it's,
Let's
it's
watch
always
and
good to be
see
able to
what
second guess if
happens.
it's a good go, but sometimes you just need to go headstrong, dive into it, and that's the best kind of a play. So Empire, it's not going too bad. You're talking about how Tiny's getting a lot out of this one, but I do fear for him. VP.Polar have so much minus armor. In the late game, that is going to be devastating, so it's more pressure on either the Tiny or the Axe to at some point throw together an AC, something that can help out not only himself, but at least his
Radiant's
allies.
bottom
Relocate to
tower
the
is
bottom
under
lane, I
siege.
think. Yep, they're trying to get a hold of Mag, but he's already
Dyer's
gone
top
too
tower
far.
is under
And now with a
attack.
quick rotation, I don't think
But
they're going to
you
get anything
probably
out of this
already
one.
knew
Resolution
that.
is going to get dropped off, and I think
Radiant's
Aloha's
bottom
just going
tower
to
is being
head on out.
attacked.
So relocate gank, not successful.
But
Radiant
nice
has
play anyway. They
fortified
force out the
structures.
TP, and Resolution, he posts up right where the TP's coming. So if the Venge actually TP'd in, would have instantly been comboed and killed. And thus they know the Venge TP will be on cooldown for a bit. They know FNG is going to be top, so if they want to make a play elsewhere, that's an option for them, and he won't be able to respond to it. Doesn't look like they will, but just those little maneuvers to at least make sure the relocate's not totally wasted. They have Ravage in a minute, but they're looking to make something happen
I was
top
just
now.
going to say, I haven't seen too much as far as really
Radiant's middle
utilizing
tower is
the
under
Ravage.
siege.
Well, they got the Ember
For
kill
now,
with it,
Yoki.
but yeah, no big team fights.
I'm waiting for it. I'm hungry for big team fight action. We could see a big one here. Top lane rotations from both sides. They're going to go right to the jungle. Silent. Always faking out once. He does not have the blink. It's piled up with the weave now coming in from Lil on the right-hand side. FNG, though, going to be focus fired, and even with a Mystic Flare, they blow him up. And now it's Illidan and Ember, and I think now Empire in big trouble. They're going to try to get out of this one, but they can't. They already lose Yoki. They're going to lose Silent, and they're running a train. Diving on forward. Always want to fly. Better fly the hell out of there, but not going to be so lucky. Ew, Sticky Goo. He drops right there, and that is a 3-for-1 trade. Only losing their Vengeful Spirit. They're going to look to follow it on through with an objective. Very nice fight right there.
Oh no, Aloha Dance, he has relocate, but by the time it would go off, he might die anyway. Able to tether himself to the south and barely will retreat, though the Ancients are looking to not cooperate here. So the tower top lane, this is the one thing I guess for VP.Polar that's a bit concerning is they still have yet to take a tower. They have okay push from the Venjar and the Bristleback, but definitely not exceptional. Ember, terrible at taking towers. Your Puck, not very good either. I'd say 2 okay pushing heroes, and then Dazzle, who just helps sustain the push. But they're not transitioning to big objectives after these kills, so I think you're still okay if you're Empire. And that was also like the worst possible fight to take. They had no Ravage, and Relocate was on cooldown, but oh no, not again. But if they take that, if they go top and they have Ravage and Relocate's ready, that fight does not go nearly as well for VP.Polar.
They go ahead and deny the one tower that VP.Polar were trying to get a hold of, so Yoki taking away that bit of gold. VP.Polar not going to be happy about that, but Mag is back, so that's always good. Illidan trying to make a go on mid lane. Lip going to be popping, jumping in, it's going to be silent. Oh, walks him out from the Mystic Flare. That is a bit of miscommunication. I don't think it would have been enough regardless, but he does manage to pick up the tower, and we got another fantastic disconnect, but immediate unbox.
Honestly, I haven't seen a team give up on someone reconnecting this quickly in a while. Feels like a pub, you know, like you just want the game to be not necessarily over with, but you just do not want to wait for any reason whatsoever.
This is where the Valve autopause works against you. You're like, we're just gonna keep going.
Damn it, Valve!
We just want to be able to turn off the feature. We just want to play. Because if he disconnects in the middle of a big team fight and that autopause comes out, it could be very awkward for both
It was
sides,
awkward, but I think Empire's still very comfortable with this game. Continuing to farm up heavily on the Tiny. He's your leader in net worth right now. There's not that many ways to gank the Tiny Wisp around the map. They have a Blink Puck and an Ember. It's not the best catch. They don't have like the Relocate gank of their own or Storm Spirit. They're not hugely mobile, and a lot of these heroes have to be very cautious about moving to the enemy woods.
Silent in the jungle here. They go for the Relocate.
They're gonna fight though.
Dump it. They do manage to try to get a hold of Mag. Mag not in the game, but he does drop. Aloha Dance also in a bit of trouble. They get a 1-for-1 exchange. Resolution going to be in trouble now. Big Weed pops out Silent. Looking to get on the action, but does he have enough to take him down? Yoki gets in. Big Ravage, Mystic Flare, double kill Resolution, and a chop on top. They're going to go for a 5-man wipe right here, and they get it with the slam. Empire, they don't care if Mag's in the game or not. They are dominating in this one. 20 minutes in, pushing down the mid lane. What a
This
fight.
is not looking good for VP.Polar. No other way to put it. Losing 5, gonna at least take a lot of damage on this tower mid. It just goes back to that initiation where they had great observer ward coverage throughout the dire jungle. Get the Puck when the fight starts. He didn't get to cast Dispel. The fight's almost over at that point. But the thing that was impressive was not just that, but how quickly the rest of the team showed up. Axe was there, took some pressure off, heat off the Tiny, let him get off a couple extra auto attacks, and then when it looked like maybe VP.Polar could turn it, Tide's there with the Ravage. Just great movement. These guys are insane.
I was surprised Tidehunter showed up. He just all of a sudden was in the mix and ready to go, but couldn't have asked for a better time for a Ravage right there. That was a game changer for Empire. Even being down a man, it was looking like VP.Polar were going to be able to clean house, but with that Ravage, it easily allowed Resolution to live a little bit longer to get that sweet double grab. So VP.Pro, man, even though they are ahead in kills, 14-13, Empire feel like they have a huge, significant lead. And they're dancing around the Roche pit now. Maybe they're going to look to put to use that minus armor they got. Go right for Roche. And it looks like that is going to be the case. Empire nearby. Will they contest?
The thing that was cool about that is that they use relocate to start the fight. So they like relocate in. VP.Polar sees that. And they're like, okay, let's go. We're going to gank these guys. Oh wait, they've got too much damage waiting up the hill. They just ended up getting wrecked. So kind of a clever and unique way to use your relocate. As they'll take the tower top.
He's nearby.
They're going to come back.
But yeah, they'll just
they won't be able to contest the Sages.
Yoki was like glancing nearby, like, I see you guys in there. I know you're doing it, but I'm not going to do anything about it. We're going to get our own tower here. DD at the top, not going to be grabbed by anyone here. It was flown by always want to fly, but for now it looks like they'll just pull on back. So as far as item progression goes, Tiny is going to go what looks like right for the AC. And they really do need that AC. There's just way too much minus armor on the other side. And they're also going to smoke up here. See what they're going to get.
They know Tiny's farming. VP.Polar still have some late game, but they want to take their strength at this stage of the game and use it to slow down Empire, not just trade farm. They'll find the jump in on Aloha Dance, getting off the initiation, blink coil, quickly the Wisp falls, and now Tiny very mortal and can easily be dealt with. There's no backup in range. They're actually diving bottom lane during this time, looking for your Ember Spirit, but can't find him either. DK Phobos, maybe they do now. Blake calls there, Mystic Flare follows this up, they'll get the trade with the dunk. Still a 2-for-1, and I think if you're trading the Ember for the Tiny, even a 1-for-1, you're still going to be happy with that if you're VP.Polar. So 2-for-1, definitely good for them.
Both teams kind of going on their own Hitman mission. Unfortunately for Empire, there was more people involved on the VP.Polar side of their smoke gank, so they got a good grab in taking them out both Resolution and Aloha Dance. But on the other side, on their own little Hitman troop, they do manage to catch out that Emperor and take him down. So it's not the worst thing on earth, but yeah, definitely not the best here for Empire. So still feeling pretty confident in this one. Obviously, Mag still yet to return, and they're going to try to make the best of it. They've still been controlling him, making sure he's around, getting involved with some XP here and there. He does have a blink. He has a gem as well. They're going to throw it on him and kind of hold him as a meandering
Puck
scout, I suppose.
Can be a good gem carrier. I don't know if you want the disconnected hero to top lane. Relocate on FNG. He was off, possibly even the one microing this Puck, and he'll get punished for that. He'll drop. Aloha Dance may be the trade, though. DK Phobos going to work on him, gets the slide off. He's going to return in just a few moments. Doesn't look like he gets the kill. They'll make it back to base. And Mag finally back in the game. So your gem carrier can actually control his own hero now.
Yeah, I got a couple of levels, and all of a sudden I have a gem.
I'm sure he's really excited about this.
If I was in his shoes, I would just be seething.
Foaming at the mouth.
Big deal, not gonna lie. Oh, jumping in silent. They get a hold of Phobos, and they take him down again. This combo, this two-man hit squad, man, I gotta tell you, it works out so well with Axe jumping in and holding the place. Meanwhile, mid lane, they're making a move in. Stun, toss. Illidan down to half-life here, but he's happy to contest. He's out of BKB. He pops it out, and they're going toe-to-toe, but here comes Silent, chops him right on the back, but that is gonna be the Aegis pop. They turn their sights. Double chop. Let's go back to Illidan right now, and we'll get a chop here again if we can go for it. Now, Illidan in big trouble. Can I get another one, sir? I certainly can. Silent with a double kill.
They're not entirely done yet. Mag's showing himself. He's going to blink in, though. Finishes off your tide and head straight to the south side of the map. He will scurry to safety. No longer carrying the gem. I think they might have put it back in the well. Yeah, it's on the courier. Still, Dakota, when Empire win a fight, they take buildings. They're pounding on the tier 2 mid. Instantly, this tower goes down after the glyph, and in the meantime, Mag's been trapped out by Silent. Another blink jump, another kill. Tony out at the club, and he's enjoying some delicious Puck bottle service right now.
That's a good ward right there from Empire to catch out Mag, and they just immediately pounce. They have just the quick jump factor in from Axe, of course, and now Resolution with his AC complete. And even though VP.Pro, they can find their kills, it's just hard for them to follow through with those objectives. And Empire now, with someone like Tiny, they get any sort of kill. It's going to be an easy tower takedown at any opportunity. They go knocking at the door. They're knocking with a sledgehammer. They're going to break right on through.
Tiny continuing to accelerate his farm, but it's the Axe for me that's just been the story of this game. You mentioned him moving around the Skywrath. Now we're seeing him easily fight his way through Shallow Graves, completely render the, well, not render the Dazzle useless, but pretty close. He's not really getting weave off at opportune times. He's constantly just in danger of dying in the middle of the fights, and the Grave quite useless. So with that gold, he's going to purchase a Crimson Guard now, and it's a nice item against VP.Polar. You mentioned the minus armor, and they don't have any one like incredibly hard right clicker. Ember, who's decent. Bristleback, who gets pretty strong later in the
they're
fights,
gonna get Ember
but
if they see him.
it's going to be a nice item for them.
Oh, they jump instead, they get FNG, and oh, he's just obliterated. Now, look at this. Empire. Maybe they could scout out. Oh, the coil going to be there. Mag comes back from Disconnect World, and they're able to take down Always Want to Fly, but now the attention turns on him with his relocate. Mag is going to get annihilated. Illidan waltzing on through with his BKB, looking golden and glorious as ever. Can he break down Aloha Dance? He certainly can. Will Hardy able to make his way out. DK Phobos. Oh, they do still get the Ravage there onto Illidan. Illidan, though, very, very beefy having to take it in. Will Hardy not going to be so lucky. He gets chopped on down, and they go right back for Illidan. He'll be able to waltz himself away from this one, but he gets tossed onto his ally. These guys are pretty big and beefy. It's not going to be easy to take down either of them, but still, 2-for-2 trade when it's all said.
The axe picks are just turning these fights, or just the jump in. You get the ult off, and suddenly your Tiny's just running around like with basically a haste turn, even when the Wisp is dead. It's quite cool because you see the Wisp die in the fight, and then the Tiny is still able to stay very aggressive, very active, stick onto heroes, and that's where Bristleback loses a lot of steam. Tiny, no BKB, so you get the goose stacks up on him. Normally you can kite him reasonably well, but that is not the case when the axe is there giving him all kinds of additional buffs.
I have to agree. It's looking like a very well-rounded draft here from Empire. Virtus Pro, they have some great synergy, you know, with all the minus armor and being able to have a good Roche lineup being on the Dire side, but it just doesn't feel as well-rounded as Empire has it, so we'll see if the execution is what's going to be crucial, and of course they've been handicapped this game, so you always have to kind of put that one in there, but really, what can you do? There's a lot of money on the line. Jumping in mid lane, Yoki happy to blink on forward. Illidan might try to pounce on this one. I'll see how he wants to extend. He doesn't know where the rest of Empire is. Yoki walks towards his allies, and Illidan doesn't want to go too far. Even for Illidan, that's a little too far.
Yeah, there's a TP. He knows he's not getting that kill, but what he didn't know is that Silent was rotating. He's got the dunk online. They might just be able to kill off Illidan. Even through this, they'll continue pounding on him. Dazzle ultimate was used to make Illidan a bit more durable, and you can see the armor slowly ticking up, but they can't even scratch anyone else. Tiny Whisper gone, though. This is an opening to go in. No coil, or actually coil was used, but that's just not going to get anything done. This Mag will get clipped on the way out by a nice Scarith Mage ultimate. Big pick up there, and they look for more with Silent leaping in again. Blade Nail's online. He's the gem carrier, though. It'll be a costly death if he falls. They work on him.
He's fat, though. Look at him. He's got so much armor. It's taking so much work. Illidan going to get the early shallow grave, but Chop doesn't care about that. Now they turn to FNG. Really nothing to do about it. And almost a second Chop. He ends up going out because here comes Phobos. Gets one, gets two. And now they look towards Yoki here. Yoki able to go to the low ground. And already a TP out there from Lil Hardy. But hey, look who's in your base. This is what I'm talking about. Resolution. They just annihilate the Rax. What the hell happened in home base? Oh my god. What a sieging power here. Resolution, he's going to get away scot-free. I don't think so. They might slowly wither down the Giant, but the damage has already been done. This is the most long-winded kill ever. It's actually enough time for Yoki to look to come in here. He gets forced away, but he's still stuck. Bring down the Giant. Get everything you can.
I felt like I was watching like a raid boss, and that's without the Wisp there to back him up.
It's like World of Warcraft there.
I gave the viewers the full Warcraft experience, you know, going into the panoramic view, getting the nice close-up, or not panoramic, but the close-up view, you would say. Showcase.
Showcase, I think
there
it is.
You go.
There it is.
Words are hard.
Nice.
And so too is Tiny. He's very durable.
Hey, big fight mid, I look up and over, and there's no more Rax bottom.
Brutal.
Oh
that was just a smart, immediate reaction by Empire. They used Relocate to defend that fight, and when the Tiny Wisps go back, they had two choices. One is to run over to mid and try to join it. The other is just push bottom, and either they back, in which case you save your teammates mid, or you take Rax. And the final variant there ends up happening, but I think the right play, just given where they ended up coming back to like this area, which is a pretty long way to have to walk over to mid. VP.Polar just got a little too bloodlust there. They really wanted those kills.
Uh-oh, Silent goes into the pit thinking that Roche could be up, but here comes the relocate as they jump on the Always Want to Fly. Resolution, Aloha Dance looking to come in from behind. They do take down the support. Always Want to Fly, but Here we go. Swap back as they try to isolate and go for silent here. Phobos also going to potentially get caught out. Big Ravage to fly on through here. They don't focus Illidan, which is a smart choice. They try to go for Phobos, but he jumps not once but twice to get away from this. Little Hardy now. He seems like the next weakest target. Can they get him down in time? They can. Not able to get off the shallow grave. FNG going to be next on the docket. They get him. Oh, Silent forced to the high ground. He'll be fine for now, so he walks out of harm's way. Now Resolution tosses the ball, takes down the Ember Spirit. Now they turn back towards the other meaty one. Illidan, big trouble, and I don't think he'll be getting away with this one. It looks like another 5-man drop, and I thought he was going to die there, but they get him eventually. Ultra kill for Resolution, 30-23. Empire, man, I don't think they're going to be stopped here.
What a beatdown that was, and this is when VP.Polar are really hitting the peak of their power curve. Ember obviously scales with farm, but you just look at the items they've gone for, getting the BKB Vanguard on Bristleback, early Urn pickup, the Blink on Puck, and no other item progression. They pretty much need to be winning fights now. Failing that, they're down a lane of Rax. Tony Wisp is going mid. Your Refresher Tide's about to come online. In fact, I think it's flying out right now on the courier. Indeed it is. Daedalus now complete. VP.Polar, they've got an expiration date, and I think it's right about now, Dakota.
Uh-oh, but desperation mode here. Nice coil does catch, but do they have enough to break these fat big boys here? Swap could be back as they bring Resolution to the base. Now Silent gets in, gets a nice calling to take down, but immediate buyback. Is Ember looking to get back into this one? Tier 3 has already dropped. Always want to fly. They waltz on out. No one dies yet on the side of Empire, while 3
they just got dead. Refresher. Yoki had it delivered. He hasn't used it yet, though, and it doesn't seem that he's going to need to. Had that pocket ace if necessary, but it's anything but right now.
So that's 2 racks. I wouldn't be surprised if Virtus.Pro are kind of like, well, we need to shake things off here and look to bounce back stronger in game number 2. But with all this momentum, they clear out the second set. They'll walk back. A DD rune just conveniently waiting for him right by the Roche pit where Roche could be waiting for him.
It really sets an interesting tone for this series. The last time that these teams played in a big showdown, it was a 3-0 stomp, actually. Empire beating them 3-0 in the D2L Season 5 playoffs. Then they ended up not being able to attend for, I think, visa issue reasons. But that's, now they bust out Tiny Wisp. First 2 picks, no hesitation. VP.Polar knew what were coming. And obviously, they look at this game and probably figure a lot of it was Mag being disconnected. But some of it just has to be Tiny Wisp, but with in Empire's hands are just tough to deal with.
Oh, VP.Polar were trying to catch up with him, but they get caught off, and they immediately take down 2. Both Mag and the Ember Spear will drop a successful TP there for 1, but Illidan's not going to be so lucky. He gets stopped. He is able to take down Wisp before he goes, but oh, no, Lil, you're not going to get away. We will even use the Ravage for you, and it looks like VP.Polar
Tony Sama. He had plus 430 damage on top of the base 308. Oh my goodness. And that's not even counting the crits. Dakota, that was ugly.
Certainly was. Unfortunate for Mag with the disconnect issues early on, but, you know, Empire, man, coming to this one looking real strong. Their Berserk style continues on here, and for Virtus.Pro, hopefully they can shake this one off and come back in game number 2 and try to bring it to a 3-game series.
Yeah, it's a best of 3. It's not an elimination match. The loser, though, will drop down to that lower bracket and have a very tough run of it. There's some staunch teams waiting there, and just a lot of teams still in the tournament to worry about. So if you're VP.Polar, you just got to shake this one off and look to bounce back. Game 2 coming up next, guys. You're watching Beyond the Summit's coverage of the Dota 2 Asia Championships. And, well, we'll be right back with more European qualifier action after this. Stick around.